All right, Shalom. We want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Kakadash.
I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all for the elect. And once again, we are the real Hebrew Israelites. We come out here week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of America, which is Babylon the Great. So with that, we're going to go into prophecy.
This is Matthew 24, verse 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another.
Yeah, so what Yahushua was prophesying about, which actually became secular history, is what? The siege of Jerusalem that took place under the Flavian dynasty, which consisted of Vespasian and his two sons, Titus and Domitian. And proof that that happened according to the scriptures is what? The Ark of Titus.
It says, that shall not be thrown down.
Yeah, so that's what they did. They destroyed the second temple. All right, and proof of that, when you look at the Ark of Titus, it actually shows them carrying the menorah and how they ransacked the temple, referring to the Edomites.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be?
Yeah, so the disciples, they wanted to know, when is the kingdom of heaven going to be established on the planet Earth? What are going to be the signs that's going to occur on the planet Earth so that we know that you're getting ready to come back?
And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
What shall be the sign of thy coming? Meaning the tokens, the prophecies, all right, the current events that will be happening on the planet Earth. And that's what we do today. We link up the current events with biblical prophecy to understand the time period that we're living in. And we know that the time is very close, that Yahushua is getting ready to come back.
And of the end of the world.
And of the end of the world. The end of the world talking about what? The end of an age. Going back to the word eon. Because who's ruling according to biblical prophecy? Can you get 2 Ezra 6 and 9?
2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world.
Yeah, so Esau is the end of the world. So in these last days, Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white man in the sea line, they will be ruling in these last days, beginning with the central bankers on down. They're in power according to biblical prophecy. Job 9 and 24, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. So it's the Most High that put the Edomites in power for a specific period of time to fulfill his words.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
So that's what the end of the world is talking about. The end of the world is not talking about the whole entire planet Earth blowing up. So all them type of YouTube videos and all that false information on YouTube, you know, you have to filter the scriptures with what people is bringing out online. All right, the end of the world is talking about the downfall of the nation of Edom, which is the so-called white man and his seed line. I'll read that again.
2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 9. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
So that's who got next. All right, that's who got next to rule. Jacob. Who is Jacob? You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. All right, so all these prophecies that's coming to pass, we're supposed to be happy. All right, because we know that Yahushua is getting ready to come back, and Lord willing, we be a part of the elect. We're going to receive salvation by the way of the so-called UFOs, and we're going to establish the kingdom of heaven along with Yahushua and King David and the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, so you're supposed to be looking for these prophecies in the form of current events.
Back in Matthew 24, verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you.
Yeah, take heed that no man deceive you. How would a man be able to deceive you if you're not following according to the scriptures? If you're not following the true doctrine through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua according to the scriptures. All right, who is teaching the true doctrine today? Great Millstone, beginning with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone through the Ruach HaKodesh.
For many shall come in my name.
Many shall come in my name. So every single week that's been happening, all right, from January up until now, pretty much almost all the camps outside of Great Millstone, they've been going off on a doctrine. All right, they've been teaching things that's not biblical, that can't be backed up with the scriptures. Why? Because they're under the 501c3 charter, and they took that bag and they sold out because it's showing forth through what they're teaching.
It says, saying, I am anointed.
Yeah, saying I am anointed, and that's what they're doing. All right, because they're deceiving the people. You know, just because a person has a bunch of subscribers and they got a bunch of mass following, that doesn't mean that they're teaching the truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, you can't just follow a person just because they self-proclaim themselves to be leaders. You have to go according to the scriptures. See, here at Great Millstone, beginning with the apostles, the elders, what do they teach us? All right, to look it up yourselves, to verify the information so that you can be assured of the things that you learn through the Ruach HaKodesh.
And shall deceive many.
And there's a lot of people that's deceived. All right, they don't know that the MOTB is that implantable device. All right, that charagma. All right, and these false pastors, these false prophets, all right, these dudes that's in these other camps, they're teaching you false doctrine. They're not teaching you about Jacob's trouble, which involves the global economic collapse, the end of the US dollar, cryptocurrency crashing, all right, the financial collapse. They're not going into these things. They're not giving you the warning through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So they have a lot of blood on their hands.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And you know we got to talk about it. All right, the events that's going on between Ukraine and Russia. All right, why is that going on? Because Ukraine used to be a part of Russia when it was the Soviet Union. So what NATO has been doing, they've been making allies with all those different nations in that region to what? Weaken the Soviet Union. And also they want Ukraine to be a part of NATO. So that's why they fund them, and that's why they protect them, and that's why they put sanctions on Russia, which is an act of war.
Which is going to lead to World War III, because that's why America's getting involved in it, because America's Babylon the Great.
Yeah.
So America plays a part in the prophecies of the Medes. You know, the Medes got to destroy Babylon. So they right in the midst of that. So they right over there in Ukraine, you know, trying to get political control over that country. And it's all war games, man. That's all it really is. It says, see that ye be not troubled.
Yeah, see that ye be not troubled. You know, you got 2/3 of the nation of Israel, faithless Israelites, that they're troubled. They think that the end of the world and thermonuclear destruction pertains to them. Now, it does pertain to them if you're a part of the 2/3. But these events that's happening is ushering in what? It's letting us know that Yahweh Shai is getting ready to come back and that our redemption draweth nigh. So you're supposed to be happy. You're not supposed to be afraid. You're supposed to want these things to happen according to the scriptures.
For all these things must come to pass.
All these things must come to pass. What's the things that shall come to pass? Prophecy, all right? And how do you know? Because you measure the time diligently by linking up the current events with biblical prophecy to understand the time period you're living in.
But the end is not yet.
But the end is not yet. Why? Because the MOTB has to come. All right, the financial collapse, the global economic collapse, it has to come. The downfall of this society, it has to come. All right, so this is what different brothers have been saying. Yeah, we're happy at the events that's going on between Ukraine and Russia. All right, but the MOTB, which is that charagma, it has to be implemented throughout all countries first. So that's the next step. That's the next thing. And also, what they've been talking about is that there can be a ransomware attack on the power grid, which will shut down banks and it will shut down the internet. So that's the next step, all right, the global economic collapse.
It says, for nation shall rise against nation.
Yeah, nation shall rise against nation. So this is what these other nations are doing, all right? They're forming pacts with each other. They become an ally with one another. Why? Because to fulfill the words of what? World War III, all right, to fulfill the words of prophecy.
And kingdom against kingdom.
Kingdom against kingdom, all right? Russia, you know, they have their kingdom, all right? And then you have America. So America, they have their allies, and Russia has their allies pursuant to Ezekiel the 30th chapter. And they're going to go to war with each other. World War III is going to be fought by the way of thermonuclear missiles.
And there shall be famines and pestilence.
Yeah, there shall be famines. There's going to be two types of famines, all right? The traditional famine, which is a lack of food supply and resources, all right? And then you're going to have the other type of famine, which is the famine of the word. See, if there's a cyber attack on the power grid, that's going to shut down the internet. That's going to stop people from hearing the words of the Lord. So you Israelites, you need to repent while the doors of mercy is still open. All right, we're not always going to be out here on the highways and byways. Why? Because there's going to be a global economic collapse. Martial law is going to be in effect. There's going to be a lot of crime going on. So the Lord is going to withdraw his prophets.
And pestilence.
And with an S?
Yeah, pestilence.
Yeah,
pestilence.
Yeah, pestilences with an S, all right? Different type of disease outbreaks, all right? And the main disease outbreak that's going on is what? You know what?
And earthquakes in diverse places.
Yeah, if you go on Google or you go on any type of alternative media site, there's an earthquake that happens every single day, all right? That's not a coincidence. That's according to what? Bible prophecy, to let us know, the true believers, that Yahweh Shai is getting ready to come back and deliver us. Lord willing, we be a part of the elect.
All these are the beginning of sorrows.
All these are the beginning of sorrows, because there's still more prophecy that has to take place before Yahweh Shai comes back. All right, the next step is that MOTB. That's what we're waiting on. That's what we.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself.
How do you measure the time diligently? By reading what's in the scriptures and linking it up with current events. You see things going on pertaining to Ukraine and Russia, you link it up with the scriptures. What did the scriptures say? That there was going to be 3 woes. All right, the first 2 woes took place, which is World War I and World War II. Now the 3rd woe is getting ready to commence, which is World War III.
And when thou seest part of the signs past,
Yeah, when thou seest part of the signs past, what are the signs? Prophecy. All right, biblical prophecy.
And that shows you right there, it's telling you how to measure the time. Because it said measure the time diligently in itself. And then it says when you saw what?
it says, when thou seest part of the signs past,
When you see a part of the signs pass. So measuring the time is when you see part of the signs pass. The more the signs that you see come past, that you see comes to pass, indicates the closer you get to the Lord's coming. So it's like you're measuring the distance. You're measuring the distance from the time period you are now to when the Lord comes by looking at all of the signs that come to pass, man. And you damn cunts out there, you laughed at us for years when we used to have them signs saying USSR going to destroy America. You laughed at us. USSR going to destroy America. USSR been done since 89, 90, man. What's wrong with y'all guys, man? But wait a minute, hold on. What you gonna say now? What you gonna say now? And guess what? We ain't praying for Ukraine. Y'all brother praying for Ukraine? Y'all brother ain't praying. Well, I'm putting the camera around. Y'all brother ain't praying for Ukraine, right?
No.
Huh? Oh, okay. Make sure I got this documented. Nobody pray for Ukraine. We can't wait till this place go down, man. We happy as hell. Go ahead, brother.
it says, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before,
Yeah, how has the Lord told us before? Through the mouth of his prophets, which have been here since the world began. You get Luke 170. Luke.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 70. It says, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets.
So that's how the Lord speaks, all right? He speaks through his men, all right? His prophets whom he revealed the secrets to, which is what? The understanding of these scriptures. And we have the understanding of these scriptures through Yahweh Shai's sacrifice, all right? Through Yahweh Shai.
which have been since the world began.
Which have been since the world began. Because before they were called prophets, what were they called in the ancient world? Seers. All right, so there's always been prophets since the Garden of Eden all the way up to right now. So we still in biblical times. Because you got people acting like we're not in biblical times. All right, John the Revelator on the island of Patmos, he spoke about Mystery Babylon the Great. What is Mystery Babylon the Great? America. Hold on. I got you out.
It says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Yeah, so Yahweh Shai is getting ready to come back. And when you get the proper understanding from the men of Greatmillstone, beginning with the apostles, you understand that it was Yahweh Shai along with the 144,000, which is the Elohim that created everything. All right, so he's getting ready to come back and visit the world which he made, because everything belongs to Yahweh Shai. And pursuant to Romans the 8th chapter, we're going to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai in the kingdom of heaven. So everything belongs to us as well.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
And that's what we're seeing, all right? Earthquakes happening every single day all around the world. And uproars of the people concerning what? This jab mandate and other harsh policies concerning their job, all right?
It says, then shalt thou will understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee.
Yeah, because the prophets, they're all in unison with each other. All right, the prophets, they all have the same message, which is the what? Prophesy the downfall of that current empire that they was in. All right, of war, of evil and different things that's occurring on the planet Earth.
Even from the beginning.
Even from the beginning, all right? Because even prophets such as Enoch, they talked about the Most High coming back with tens of thousands, all right? Yahushua coming back with the hosts of heaven to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel, all right? So everything is coming together. Everything is coming to pass in the form of prophecy. So we know that Yahushua is getting ready to come back.
For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end.
Yeah, everything has a beginning and an end, all right? And this applies to who? The so-called white man, all right? Esau, Edom, according to the Bible, their empire is getting ready to fall, all right? They're getting ready to come out of rulership in the form of this global economic collapse. And when Yahushua comes back, he's going to fully take them out of power.
And the end is manifest.
The end is manifest, all right? We know that Yahushua is getting ready to come back based off of what? The signs that's occurring on the planet Earth, all right? And the scriptures talk about in Matthew the 12th chapter, verse 26, that if Satan be divided against Satan, how shall his kingdom stand? So when you see Russia and Ukraine and America going at it, that's Edomites fighting amongst each other, all right? That's a division. So that empire is not going to last too much longer through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushua.
It says, even so, the times also of the highest have made beginnings and wonders and powerful works.
Yeah, because the nation of Edom, they can't stay in power longer than what the Most High ordained.
And endings and effects and signs.
Yeah, so we see the different signs, which the signs is what? Prophecies, all right? So we know based off of the scriptures that the nation of Edom, they're getting ready to come out of rulership. They think that they're going to establish their NWO, but that's not going to fully happen pursuing the Job, the 20th chapter, all right?
Everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby he have believed.
And that's the elect of the nation of Israel. Because if you have faith, all right, beginning with the men of the nation of Israel, all right, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, you're going to prove your faith through your works. Coming out in the highways and byways, doing your videos, doing your live streams, linking up with brothers, talking with brothers, all right? You're going to have that holy conversation about these scriptures and the kingdom of heaven.
So shall be preserved from the said perils.
Yeah, the said perils. The perils is what? The coming prophecies, such as what? Jacob's trouble. And what did it say in Revelation 3:10? Can you get that for me for Buckshot? Revelation 3:10? Because the Lord said that what? For keeping the word of his patience, meaning suffering in his truth, all right, going through the different trials and tribulations before Yahushua come back, that he's going to protect us during the hour of temptation and during Jacob's trouble. He's going to give his angels charge over us to protect us. We're going to have food and raiment.
Revelation chapter 3 verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience.
Yeah, and the word patience is synonymous with what? Suffering. Because when you come into this truth, you are going to suffer. You might lose a job or two. You might lose a rib or two. You might go through different type of infirmities and trials and tribulations. But that's temporary, all right? That's not a forever thing.
I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. What is the hour of temptation? The hour of temptation is when Esau, Edom, throughout all his countries, he's going to make mandatory that what? That implantable device, all right? That karaka, which is that chip, all right? That's the end all be all. That's why there's going to be a global economic collapse, all right? That one world currency is going to be programmed on that chip. The time is coming when they're going to usher in that chip throughout all countries, and you're going to need that to buy or sell. The elect of the nation of Israel is going to deny that chip, all right? Because if you take that chip, you can't repent from that. Even if you get in, you feel guilty, you want to take it out, you still have to receive the judgment written, which is destruction.
Which shall come upon all the world.
Which shall come upon all the world. Going into the word what? Ointment. So when this devil brings in that chip, all right, that global economic collapse, this is going to happen worldwide. Jacob's trouble is going to happen worldwide.
To try them that dwell upon the earth.
Yeah, to try them that dwell upon the earth. And how is the Lord going to try us? Through this global economic collapse. In the form of what? Jacob's trouble. Because you won't be able to buy or sell. You're not going to be able to just go in the store comfortably and just buy different type of resources. All right? You're going to need the chip. But the Lord in that day, he's going to provide for us. He's going to give us food. He's going to give us raiment. You know, he's going to give us the things that we need, you know, to survive till Yahushua comes back.
Revelation chapter 22, verse 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in the book, in this book.
Yeah, so that's what these false leaders are doing. All right, Nate of IUIC, General Yohana, you know, Bubbleized Blackfish. It's a lucky. That's what we call it.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, you know, these false leaders, you know, Alazar, Sakari, all right? You teaching false doctrine. You're teaching things that's leading the flock of the Lord to destruction, all right? And all their blood is going to be upon your hands. If you don't repent and start teaching the right thing, you don't start teaching the truth, or Jacob's trouble, you know, the chip, you know, the worship Yahushua, and, you know, plenty other things, like how we teach here at Greatmillstone, you're going to be destroyed. Because you're teaching things that's not going to lead to salvation. You're not building our people up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
Verse 19. If any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life.
So you false prophets, that's what's going to happen to you. You're going to end up being destroyed. All right, the Lord is going to destroy you with a swift destruction. Why? Because you knew better. All the videos that we do here at Greatmillstone, we rebuke you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Not because it's personal, it's because that's the Lord speaking to you to tell you to repent and to get you on track, to teach the right thing. But you're going to have 2/3 of the nation of Israel, which are you false prophets, you're going to be destroyed.
And out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book, he which testified these things saith, I surely I come quickly. A month, even so, come, Lord Yahushua.
Yeah, so that's it with that.
Like at 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 7, it says, and every one that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed.
Yeah, so Lord willing, that's us, man. All right, we're not out here just for no reason. All right, when Yahushua comes back, he's coming back with rewards. Can you get on Revelation 22 and 12, Bucket Show, real quick? Revelation 22 and 12. Yeah,
Revelation chapter 22, verse 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be.
Yeah, so Yahushua is coming back with rewards. What's some of those rewards? Immortality, those new bodies that we're going to receive, that's going to have the Lord's statutes and commandments program within them, making us perfect, because we're never going to sin. From that point of receiving salvation, we're never ever going to sin again. So this is the final captivity that we're in. All right, we're going to have rulership over the nations, because when we come into power, we're going to implement the Lord's statutes and commandments, and the earth is going to be righteous under our jurisdiction. That was it with that.
Verse 13. I am Alpha and
That's it.
2nd Ezra 9 and 8 shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land.
Yeah, so this is why we do this, all right? We do this in hopes of what? Receiving salvation, all right? This is why we fear the Lord. When you read the scriptures, you read about the flood, different captivities we was in, all right? That's teaching you to what? To fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Because how is the Lord going to destroy Babylon the Great, which is America? By the way of thermonuclear missiles, all right? He's going to destroy the earth this time by the way of fire. We don't want to be caught up in that fire. So that's why we come out here on the highways and byways. That's why we do our videos. That's why we do our live streams, to show our faith in the eyes of Yahweh Yahushua.
It says, shall be preserved from the said perils.
Yeah,
And shall,
so we're gonna be preserved, all right? The things that we're doing, the Lord is gonna protect us, all right? He's gonna protect us during Jacob's trouble. He's gonna protect us during the hour of temptation, all right? And he's gonna deliver us by the way of the so-called UFOs. That's the only way to escape that thermonuclear destruction, all right? By being a part of the elect and receiving salvation by the way of the so-called UFOs.
shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning. So this is dealing with what? Predestination. So Lord willing, we are part of the elect. You know, Lord willing, it's our lot to receive salvation.
It says, Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways.
Yeah, and that's 2/3 of the nation of Israel. You have abused the Lord's ways. All right, you use this grace period as a cloak of maliciousness. All right, to teach things that's not according to the scriptures, and you have a lot of blood on your hands. The days is coming when you're gonna know that there have been a prophet among you. All these things that's coming to pass, who gave you the warning through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua? It begins with the apostles on down. All right, great millstone.
And they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments.
Yeah, you're gonna dwell in torments. All right, you wanted to live the American dream. You wanted to follow the way of the heathen. All right, you even got 2/3 of the nation of Israel that came into this truth, and you turn your back on Yahweh and Yahushua. You stop teaching. You're gonna be in a pitiful case during Jacob's trouble and the hour of temptation, because the Lord is gonna destroy you.
For such as in their life have received benefits.
Yeah, you receive benefits, all right? And when you receive the benefits, referring to 2/3 of the nation of Israel, you don't give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh and Yahushua. What do? You give all praise, honor, and glory to idols, all right? God, Jesus. The Lord's name is not Jesus. His name is Yahushua, all right? And when you say you worship God, what's the name of the God that you serve? According to the scriptures, what's his name? According to the scriptures, his name is Yahweh. All right, those are the names that the elect of the nation of Israel will call upon and believe on.
It says, and have not known me.
And have not known me. All right, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, you don't know the Lord. All right, because judgment is not expedient. But you're gonna know the Lord when He sends Jacob's trouble upon you. All right, when the wrath of the Lord comes upon you, when money can't deliver you and solve your problems.
And they that have loathed my law.
Yeah. They that have loathed my law, which is who? 2/3 of the nation of Israel. You shun the Lord, all right? You hate the Lord's statutes and commandments. You ain't trying to get yourself right. You're not using this time period to repent and reflect on, your current sins, all right? Our past captivities. You ain't doing that, all right? You're not focusing on this word and this gospel and spreading this gospel. What you're doing right now is living it up, and you're going to be destroyed for that.
While they had yet liberty.
Yeah, while you have liberty, all right? Because the doors of mercy is still open. With 2/3 of the nation of Israel, what are they doing? It's a Saturday, they want to go to the club, they want to chill with their family. They put everything else before Yahweh and Yahushua and spreading the gospel.
And when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it.
Yeah, you despise the doors of mercy, all right, which we have mercy and grace through Yahushua, but you despise that. You think it's more beneficial for yourself to follow the way of the heathen, but you're going to see very soon enough that that's going to lead to your destruction.
The same must know it after death by pain.
Because what else can you tell them? All right, we gave you the warning through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. We got the blood off our hands. We relayed the message to you, all right, in the eyes of Yahweh and Yahushua. So you're going to die in your own iniquities.
I got a precept.
Come.
You said the same was not to death by pain.
Yep.
This is 2nd Ezra 8 verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. It
Yeah, that's
says
2/3 of the nation of Israel. All right, you walked in great pride. All right, you didn't believe on Yahweh and Yahushua. You didn't repent. All right, you wasn't meditating on prophecy. You wasn't meditating on this word, end time prophecy. What was you doing during the time when the doors of mercy was open? You was following the way of the heathen. You was trying to live it up in a temporary kingdom.
but understand thou for thyself and seek out the glory for such as be like unto thee.
Yeah, so we ain't supposed to worry about 2/3 of the nation of Israel. All right, we ain't supposed to worry about them. You're supposed to worry about the brothers. All right, the true brotherhood that think like how you think. All right, that want prophecy to come to pass, that want the kingdom of heaven to come to pass, that's teaching the same doctrine and that's in the same spirit. All right, that's who you're supposed to be worrying about, and that's who you're supposed to be helping and protecting and being charitable to. All right, you ain't supposed to worry about 2/3 of the nation of Israel, because they're going to be destroyed in their own sin.
I have a precept real quick. Let me get it real quick. Back up what you're saying. This is Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 17, and it reads, fact, I'm gonna go up. It says, it's verse 14, Jeremiah 11, verse 14, and it reads, "Therefore pray not thou for this people."
So you ain't supposed to pray for them. It don't matter if they went to college, they got a great career. The Lord don't care about that. All that is temporal. All right? What the Heavenly Father is pleased with, as well as His only begotten Son, is what? Spreading His gospel as Israelite men. All right? And we're supposed to do that unto death. That's what's important to the Lord. All right? Everything in this society is going to vanish away. It's going to be destroyed by the thermonuclear missiles. If you have a job, ain't nothing wrong with having a job. But you can't put your job before serving the Lord. All right? Yahweh and Yahweh Shai has to come first for us Israelite men.
That's what it says back in Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 14. "Therefore pray not thou for this people."
Yeah, don't pray for them. All right? When you see their own calamity come upon them, when you see Yahweh and Yahweh Shai judge them for their sin, all right? Don't pray for them.
It says, "Neither lift up a cry, no more prayer for them, for I will not hear them in the time, for I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble."
Yeah, so that's what's going to happen during Jacob's trouble. All right? When they start catching that hell, when the wrath of the Lord comes upon them, the Lord is not going to hear that cry. Oh, from that, can you get on Proverbs, the first chapter? Yes.
That was it. I'm saying, but I have a little more if I have. It was it reads back in 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, as they have walked in great pride."
And what's some of those miseries? Famine. They're going to die of starvation. All right? This money is not going to be around forever. All right? You got a lot of people, they like to have bricks of money, hold it by their ear. You know, they put their faith and trust into that. But that's a temporary thing. All right? The days is coming where that dollar is going to collapse. Gold and silver, that's going to collapse. That's not going to be the next thing that's going to take over the dollar when it collapses. All right? The next thing that's coming is that MOTB, which is that implantable device, which is that chip.
And when you look at the World Economic Forum, they was talking about that. They was talking about that in great detail, how they want to transfer, and what they doing, what's going on in Ukraine and Russia is nothing but a psyop. You know what I'm saying? What they doing is they destabilizing the economy, and it's going to further destabilize the economy so they can bring forth their agenda, which is a digital currency. Because this is going to bring forth hyperinflation. Why do you think that tyrant who suffered from dementia talking about it's going to be hyperinflation? He was talking about that shit. Why? Because that's in the cards, man. So you have it, and you have it. Hyperinflation is going to come upon due to this war and this pipeline situation with Germany and Russia signing an agreement, but they reneging because NATO putting pressure on Germany for that underwater pipeline that's going straight from Russia to Europe. This is going to cause a major disruption in the oil and in the refineries and throughout the Americas, and it's going to bring forth hyperinflation, man, and the collapse of the economy, and they want that to happen. And you go back to John Todd, and John Todd mentioned in his scripture, I'm saying in his scripture, in his manuscripts, that he was talking about how the elites, they have enough money to sustain themselves, but they want to bankrupt their companies. These elites gather all kind of money to themselves, whereas if they bankrupt their own companies, they're gonna be good, man. They ain't gotta worry about it. They ain't gonna feel the sting if they bankrupt their own companies, man. And that's what John Todd was going into, and that's going into how they want the plan to destroy the global economy to bring forth a digital system. If you take that digital system, if you accept it, all debt is forgiven. You got a clean slate. How many Jakes is going to line up? Because you got Jake ahead with multiple debt, man. How many Jakes is going to line up to take that because they want their debt? They want a clean slate. That's the wiles of the devil, man. the trickery of this fucking devil, man, of Satan, man, so-called white man. But ultimately, like the apostle said, this MOTB is the Lord's MOTB. Because the Lord did with both sides. You got it back, bro.
Yeah, that's a beautiful point.
Dig that.
That the brother said. Because when you go on the worlddebtplot.org, you see that all these countries, they're in debt. Or they're in debt to the central bankers. So it's easy for the central bankers to control these economies by what? Crashing all of them and bringing in that one world currency. Because all the important countries that you're going to go to, they all have the central bank there. All right, so this is the way how they're going to bring in that MOTB, which is that implantable device, which is that chip.
Like I was saying, real quick, like I was saying, you know, you have the Russian government. What they doing is they invaded Ukraine to try to take back. Now, when you go back to prior to 1991, I was a young man. But you had Ukraine a part of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union is the what is it again? It's called the United Soviet Social Republic. The water, brother. And here you have it. And then once they collapsed, because what made them collapse, they went into Afghanistan in the 70s, and that shit lasted to the 80s, to the early 90s. Like you had a 20-year war with the United States and Afghanistan. The same thing. Afghanistan is a graveyard for kingdoms. So guess what? They went into that land and they invaded it, and their economy collapsed. But now you got Vladimir Putin vowed 20 years ago to bring the USSR, which is the Soviet Union, back together. Poland, Ukraine, and all these other different states that left them, that's trying to join NATO, is a part of Ukraine, and Vladimir Putin is reclaiming Ukraine right now as we speak. And guess what? Right after that, you're going to have China reclaim Taiwan. This is all prophecy, and you see Taiwan, whether you see China, the Russian government and the Chinese government talking together. What they conspiring against? What they doing? All right, you recaptured Ukraine, and right around the same time you recaptured Ukraine, I'm going to send my army to recapture Taiwan, to put America in the quagmire. And the United States government is walking on eggshells because they know this could spark off the Third World War, man. And that's why they are walking on eggshells, because they know. And then you have Vladimir Putin putting up statements like, "Oh, listen, anybody that intervene, we're going to come upon you hardcore." I put the videos in the chat, man. Vladimir Putin's not playing in the games, man. But guess what? The end is not yet, because we have other prophecies that have to come to pass. And we see this is setting the stage. Because once this happens, it's going to cause hyperinflation, and gas prices will go through the roof. They're going to crash the economy, and they're going to go with this digital system. You got to go. And I can see it coming.
Somebody get Luke 21 and 9.
Chapter 21, verse 9. It says, "But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by."
That's why I said the end is not yet, man, because you have certain prophecies that have to come to pass, such as the MOTB. Whereas Esau, see, with this war right now, what Russia and Ukraine is doing is setting the stage for the collapse of the economy. And then they're going to bring forth that new digital system. The new system is going to be the MOTB, roughly phrased as acronym the Alpha D microchip, man. Which is going to, be pushed throughout the four corners of the earth. This is going to be a trial for everybody. Everybody, man. Throughout the four corners of the earth. And that's going to be the new system. that the international bankers want in place, because international bankers want to know, because you got with the greenery, you got underhand movements, so they can't get taxed. You see, it's all about taxing and getting a cut of everything that everybody do. So if you got paper currency, you can do underhand tactics, and and they don't get their tax. They don't get their judge do. They want to monitor everything you do. They want to monitor everything you have, every transaction you do. Whether you buy a loaf of bread, they want a piece of it. They want a cut. Like in that movie, Kids in New York. If a nickel bag is sold in the park, I want in. And that's what the international bankers want. If anything, any transaction is being occurred, they want in. Yeah, bro.
Luke 21, verse 9, it says, "But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by."
But the end is not by and by. These are the wars and the rumors of wars. What we seeing right now is meant to have its prophecy. So I'm not getting excited, because I know that, that the end is not yet, because there's certain things that have to transpire before the end come. Now, this is going to trigger, because Russia is a major gas supplier. So is Ukraine. Russia is capturing Ukraine. Right now, they probably got Ukraine. But we know that more profits have to come to pass. And what this is going to cause is hyperinflation. Gas prices are going to shoot up to the roof. Also, food prices. Hyperinflation. And Jordan, then you had Sleepy Joe talk about hyperinflation. Read between the lines. See, you 2/3, you jakes out there that have no clue what's going on, you're gonna get caught up because you have no recollection of what's going on, man. You're just living, man. You're just existing. You're not living, you're existing, man. Y'all called useless eaters, man. You have no clue what's going on, man. But the time is going to come when you see the horns from these crackers coming down. Now you're going to seek answers, man. Trying to come amongst the men that was telling you these things, which are the Israelites, the prophets of the Lord, for all this time. Now you want to go trying to seek answers, man. Man, you get the fuck out of my face, man. Now you got women on TikTok saying that, oh, all hell's about to break loose. You got these women in the military saying, me, I'm gonna be in the kitchen, except for my man. It's all on TikTok. All kind of women saying that. Even women in the military saying that, oh, listen, then the time come, listen, they trying to build us. Man, yeah, listen, man. There's so much to say, very little time, man. We gotta bring out these scriptures. But guess what? The end is coming, man.
So Psalm chapter 75, verse 5. "Lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck."
And that's Esau, man. Lift up your horn represents power on high. Speak not with a stiff neck. That's Esau, man. Esau being the so-called white man. He speak what he's going to do, how he's going to conquer, how he's going to destroy, how he's going to bring forth his agenda. All that shit is coming to naught, man. Yeah, bro.
It's Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 5. "And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall they know that there have been a prophet among them."
Whether they will hear, whether they will forbear, yet they're a rebellious house. Yet they should know there's been a prophet among them. Because right now we're on the highways and the byways. Right now we out of season, man. And we out here, man, pushing this word, man. We telling you what's coming down the pipe, man. Now you see the prophecies come to pass, and now you niggas are getting scared, man. Don't get scared now, nigga. Don't get scared now. You see all these. You see now niggas getting scared. The prophecies coming to pass. But guess what? The end is not yet, man. The end is not yet. So don't get all shooken up thinking that it's the end of the world. Shalom.
No, it is the end of the world.
It's the end of Esau's world.
And it's going to be the end of you niggas' world too.
That's right.
Because I gotta die, man. And I was saying earlier, you people out there laughing at some made mockery of us. You know, when we used to have that sign up that say USSR with the missiles on it. They made mockery of us. Now you finally seeing all the stuff we're talking about for all these years. But this, like the brother was saying, the end is not yet. This is just the beginning. But tell you what I'm saying right now. Don't be deceived, brothers and people out there that's listening. This stuff been going on behind the scenes for years. It's just that now it's just out there in the mainstream media. So people think, oh look, this just happened a week and a half ago. You know what I'm saying? Whenever something happened, they think it just happened because now it's just on the news. Nah, this stuff been going on for years. You gotta watch a lot of alternative media to find out what's going on. Because the Western media, all they're gonna do is hide certain things and put out stuff to promote their agenda.
Oh shit. This is Ezekiel Chapter 7, verse 25. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, but there shall be none.
And that's the people right there, you know. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace.
It says,
Yeah. You gotta read it again?
Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 25. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, but there shall be none.
Yeah, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, but there shall be none. And that's now you see people on the internet, oh, pray for Ukraine. Oh my God, we just came from the coronavirus now, about to go into World War III. But they're saying it, you know, being facetious, making a joke about a serious matter. But no, this is really gonna be World War III for real. And guess what? We hope that the Most High don't turn the heat down, man. We hope the Most High turn the heat up.
It says, mischief shall come upon...
Literally and figuratively. Go ahead.
It says, mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the Lord shall perish from the priests and counsel from the ancients.
That's exactly what happened. Then they go and seek the prophet, but it's too late. Then they go, the scripture says, my people shall be willing in the day without power. You know, then they go seek the prophet, but guess what? The vision is going to cease. In other words, they're going to come to ask this question. We're not going to tell them what they don't want to know. When that time comes with the family and the word, we can't wait, man. We can't wait. I can't wait till they shut down the damn internet. I'm tired of the internet, man. I'm tired of the internet. I'm tired of social media. I'm tired of all that. Go ahead. You know what, brother? Guess what? You know what meme they gonna become? They gonna become that Sarah O'Connor meme. That's what they gonna become. That Sarah O'Connor meme. That's what they gonna become, man. Guess what?
This is Amos chapter 8, verse 11. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord.
Exactly. And that's what famine they're gonna have. They're gonna have an actual famine of bread and water, but they're gonna have a famine in the word too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can't wait. We can't wait. We got Psalm 75 chapter I asked.
It says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it.
This is gonna happen. Because years ago they was talking about the internet kill switch bill, about killing the internet. I can't out there already killing the internet. I'm tired of this, man. Just get rid of that crap, man. The internet should just be for like intellectuals, man. It should be people that want information. It shouldn't be no damn place where you know you watch a cat flushing down a toilet. You watch a puppy riding on the back of a chicken. I seen that on the internet the other day, man. I mean, a couple of weeks ago. Watching a video, it's a puppy or something like that. I see a puppy and a chicken. And the chicken walking and the puppy on the damn chicken back. What the hell? That's how I never seen before. I'm like, the internet for this internet, you go out there. Like I saw this one video, some fucking black bitch. She had like an infant child wants to touch the vacuum. This bitch let the child touch the vacuum tube, and it went to the child's face. And then she moved. I'm like, why the fuck would you let the child touch the foot? Put on the internet, you stupid fucking bitch. You know what I'm saying? Okay, man.
Psalms chapter 75, verse 1. Unto these,
No, 5.
Psalms chapter 75, verse 5. Lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck.
You lift up your horn on high. Speak not with a stiff neck. What does it mean you lift your horn up on high? With a bull, I'm looking for this freaking hat, man. Yeah, that's my thought. We gotta get that.
Psalms chapter 75, verse 5. Lift not up your horn on high.
What does it mean to lift that up your horn on high?
Exactly right.
What happens when a bull or an animal with a horn lift their horn up? Lifting their horn up in arrogance, lifting their horn up in pride. That's what they'll do to try to intimidate you. So it says lift not up your horn, the actual horn, like no, lifting up your horn on high. Then what does it say?
Speak not with a stiff neck.
So you understand, lifting your horn up on high is being associated with having a stiff neck. With having a stiff neck is being prideful, being arrogant. So if you're lifting your horn up on high, you're being arrogant, you're being prideful. Why not? Why shouldn't you do that? You know?
For promotion cometh neither from the east nor from the west.
Because promotion will come from the east nor from the west. Go ahead.
Nor from the south.
Nor from the south. Go on.
But the Most High is the judge.
The Most High is the judge. In other words, lift up your horn on high and be stiff necked. Don't be arrogant and prideful. Because you can't lift yourself up. The Most High is the judge. What does he do?
He putteth down one and sitteth up another.
He put it down one and he set up another. That's what the Most High does. Alright? So there's no reason to be prideful. The Most High is going to supposed to be in power. The Most High go put down one, he going to set up another. The one that the Most High is going to put down is America, and who the Most High is going to raise up, lift up, is the children of Israel. We can't wait, man. It's the end of society. Go ahead.
Verse 8. For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same.
So the hand of the Lord is a cup, and the wine is red, and it's full of mixture, and he pours out of the same. And the inside of that cup represents, that wine represents the destruction that the Most High is going to bring upon the world in the near future. Go on. That's it. That should be on that. That's it.
This is Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and by the demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
So the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. The Most High is the ultimate judge, the ultimate master manipulator. He's the puppet master. I would think
This is Daniel 4 and 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent. This is Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand.
The watchers being the men of the Lord.
And the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
So yeah, we're put here to tell you of the prophecies to come, and that the Lord is going to bring destruction. You know what I'm saying? According to what's written in this book.
And giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over it the basis of men.
Alright, so pretty much he gave the power to the so-called white man to rule on the planet Earth. That's why you see the so-called white man he has an influence on the entire planet, going down to the way the cities are built, to the structure of the buildings, to how you dress. You see everyone wearing a suit and tie. You know what I'm saying? That's influenced by the so-called white man.
I got a precept. This is Psalms 75, verse 6.
just right there, yeah?
You just read it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it says, for promotion cometh not from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but the Lord Yahweh is the judge. He put up down one and set up another. Yeah. That's the spirit, bro. It came out again, man, you know, because Esau, by his ill dealings and by deceit, everything he has gained is going to be, all the wealth he has gained is going to be transferred from the wicked to the righteous, man. You know, so that's the judge of the Most High. The Most High is the ultimate judge, man.
This is Isaiah chapter 48 and verse 3. I have declared the former things from the beginning.
He's giving his prophets the word. You know what I'm saying? His servants the word. That's what he's talking about.
And they went forth out of my mouth. And
When it says they went forth out of his mouth, that's what, his mouth is being the man of the Lord. The man of the Lord is the Lord's mouth. You know what I'm
they went forth out of my mouth, and I showed them, and I did them suddenly, and they came to pass.
So pretty much the Lord is going to give his men the prophecy. His men is then going to go on the highways and byways to push the word before he brings forth his wrath. He always sends his men on the street corners to push the word before he brings forth judgment.
This is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And that's what we're doing now. We're telling the people that, look, America is going to be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear fires. And the so-called white man that's currently in power, he's going to be put down. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to always be like this. Every kingdom that's been in rulership has went down. America is not the same. America is going to go down the same way the other kingdoms had went down. But this time it's going to be by the way of fire. You know what I'm saying? Thermonuclear fire. This is going to be the greatest salvation that ever happened. You know?
This is Luke chapter 1, verse 70. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began.
So pretty much, yeah, he's been having his men on the street corners going all the way back from the beginning. This is no different. You know?
That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us.
Yeah, so pretty much we're doing it, you know.
This is Luke chapter 1, verse 71. That we, and who's the we? The we is the nation of Israel, but it begins with the elect. Because 2/3 of the nation of Israel, their lot is not to come into this truth and to believe, right? So this is what the prophets do. That we should be saved from our enemies. Who's our enemies? The heathen nations. And on this side, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, your enemies too. All right, your enemies to the cross. Because you're not glorifying Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You're trying to uphold this devil society and his rulership that's crumbling. It says that we should be saved from our enemies. And how are we going to be saved? By the way of Yahushua. When Yahushua comes back by the way of the so-called UFOs to deliver the elect. It says, and from the hand of all that hate us. And who hates us? Pursuing the Psalms, the 83rd chapter. The nation of Edom and the heathen.
This Amos chapter 3 and verse 7 says, surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets.
Yeah, that's the secrets. Pretty much the secrets that people don't know is the prophecies. That's what's going to be revealed to the servants, the men of the Lord. You know? And we're here we're supposed to come on the highways and byways to tell you of the secrets. And only the elect can get it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else can get it but the elect.
This is Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
So that word that he's talking about out of his mouth is the prophecies. That's the warning. That's the things that's supposed to be coming to pass. And the watchers will be the men of the Lord. The men of the Lord is gonna is the mouthpiece for the Heavenly Father and the Son.
It says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speaketh to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand.
So pretty much, like, there ain't gonna be no excuse when you guys be put to death. When judgment comes, nobody's gonna be able to say anything. You know?
But it says that if we don't warn our people, the wicked men, to turn back to Yahweh Shema, we're gonna die. Why? Because their blood is gonna be on our hand. Because we know this knowledge, we're not spreading the truth. You know? So that's why it says, but his blood will require at thy hand. And it says, yet, verse 19, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity. But thou hast delivered thy soul. God. So, you know, you see Jake walking past us, he telling them the truth. He warning them, letting them know that destruction is coming. But they're not listening. But that's their business because we want them. Their blood is not going to be on our hand.
This is Luke chapter 12, verse 45. It says, "But and if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming," and that's what guys that have come into the camp, all right, and that have come into the truth, that's what happened. They think that the Lord is delaying his coming, but you see that the Lord is coming back. You see prophecy coming to pass. So what has the Lord put on them? The spirit of delusion. Because the scriptures say what? The deceived and the deceiver is his, right? So it says, "But and if that servant say in his heart," meaning his mind, "my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens, and to eat and drink and to be drunken," and that's 2/3, all right, guys that come into the truth and then they go back into the world. They're drunken with the cares of this life. It says the Lord of that servant, meaning the guy that knew the truth, he's supposed to know better. He was supposed to, teach this truth unto the end, but he ain't doing that. The Lord of that servant will come in the day when he looketh not for him. So that's what's going to happen. All right, the Lord is going to come back when you least expect it, and he's going to destroy you. It says, "And at an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him in sunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers," because you're an unbeliever now. You went back into the world, all right? You weren't delivered up in this world. The truth was too much for you. It says, "And that servant which knew his Lord's will, and prepared not himself, either did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes." All right, which links up with what the brother brought out in Ezekiel 3rd chapter. All right, they're going to be beaten with many stripes because what? You knew the all right? Your job was to what? Spread this gospel. Now the blood is on your hands because you went back into the world. You're not teaching them. Last verse. It says, "But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes." Why? Because they didn't teach this truth, right? They didn't know the truth. It says, "For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required, and to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more." All right. So if you know this truth, you're supposed to teach unto the end.
This is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest."
Arise ye and depart. You know what I'm saying? Depart from the what you call it? The philosophy. You know what I'm saying? The philosophy, the belief, not the beliefs of this world. Like the world where it's okay to be a faggot. It's okay to commit adultery. You know?
It says, "Because it is polluted."
Because it is polluted. This place is tainted. It's filthy. You know, everywhere you go, there's complete wickedness. And it brings nothing but death.
It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction.
So pretty much everything that you put your eggs in is going to be completely wiped away. So you can't have faith in the world that's only temporary. You know?
Yeah, this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 6. It's like in chapter 2, verse 6. "Sin is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you."
Those that
I'm gonna read it again. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 6. "Sin is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that cause trouble to you." And you go into the word tribulation, that means, recompense, that means payback. And who's the Lord gonna cause payback on? The so-called white man, the one that afflicted us, which is Esau Edom, according to the scriptures. It says, "And to you who are troubled, wrestle us." Yeah, we gotta wrestle these scriptures, you know? This is the comforter. It says, "When the Lord Yahweh shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels." That's how the Lord is returning, with his angels of hosts. Alright? And he's coming to destroy. It says, "In flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not the Most High, and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahweh Mashiach, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. Yeah, that's going to happen when Yahweh shall return. You know, all those that do wickedly, Esau, Edom, these heathen nations, all right, 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed, all right, and they're going to be destroyed through thermonuclear fire, and also from the laser beams from the chariots, which people know today as spaceships, all right?
Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, because when you fear the Lord, you fear the things that's written in this book. You're not going to commit adultery because you know what's going to happen to you. You know what I'm saying? You know what the Lord's going to do to you.
Also, if you know the will of the Lord, which is the preacher's gospel, as Israelite men that have the truth, all right, you're going to have that fear to what? Come out on the highways and byways and to do these videos. Because if we don't do that, then the Lord will take the challenge from us and destroy us. We don't want that to happen to us. That's why we say Lord willing. It says, but fools despise wisdom and destruction.
Yeah, fools despise wisdom and destruction. You know what I'm saying? They want to do what they want to do. So ultimately, that's what's going to lead to their destruction. Also, yeah, when it's treasure, that's something that's held dear. That's something that's very important to you when it's talking about treasure.
This is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. So pretty much when all hell breaks loose, we're not going to be bugging out. We're not going to be going crazy and losing our minds. We're going to be in a stern mind frame, a calm mind frame, while everybody else around us is bugging out. They're worried about what their next meal is and what's going to happen next. You know, we're not going to be that. The minute of the Lord, the Lord's servants, we're not going to be bugging out in that day. We're going to know that. We're going to know what's coming, because everything that's written in this book was revealed to us by the Heavenly Father and the Son.
And strength of salvation.
That's the strength of salvation. That's ultimately what's going to have us saved. That's what's going to get us out of here. You know what I'm saying? Knowing these scriptures, because the scriptures is what comforts us. You know what I'm saying? It keeps us in the right mind frame. It keeps us going.
The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Yeah, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. Pretty much, the fear of the Lord is something that's very dear to us, something very important to us. You know, it's our treasure.
This is second Corinthians chapter 5, verse 11. It says, knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men.
Yeah, so the fear of the Lord, just knowing what the Lord has done throughout time, through these different kingdoms, that'll scare you alone. That alone will put you in the right mind frame, and you will have fear of the Lord from just that. You know.
It says, but we are made manifest unto the Most High, but our trust also are made manifest in your consciences. Yeah, so we know the term of the Lord. We know we believe in this word. So we persuaded. You go into the word persuade, be convinced. The only those that's convinced are the elect, right? Because everybody can't get this truth, right?
This is Romans chapter 13, verse 11. It says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Yeah, this is the time to get right. This is the time to stop sleeping spiritually. You know what I'm saying? And wake up and just realize what's going on around you. And then get right. Start repenting, because destruction is right around the corner. This isn't the time to be getting all relaxed in this kingdom. Because you got World War III happening. You know what I'm saying? It's currently happening right now, but it's in the early stages.
It says, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. And so we know our salvation is near based on what? The prophecies that come to pass. Right? We see the tension of World War III. We see the World War III buildup. Now, the thing that we're waiting on now is what? That MOTB. All right, so now it's high time to awake out of sleep. Come out of that Gentile state of mind. All right, stop following the way of the heathen Israelites, which are you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. All right, believe on Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and have faith on them both. All right. Verse 12, continuing on, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Again, the armor of light is what? Faith. Going back to what? Ephesians the 6th chapter. All right, so these times that we're coming into, you're going to need extreme faith. All right, you're going to need faith in Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Because Yahweh Shai is going to be the one that's going to protect us during Jacob's trouble and during the hour of temptation. All right, when this devil, the Edomites, the so-called white man in the sea line, bring out that Karaka. All right, so you're going to need faith. And it's going to take faith to be convinced enough not to take that MOTB, which is that implantable device. That was it.
I got something. This is Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And how do you put on the armor of the Most High? By applying the scriptures, right? This truth, because that's going to keep us stable in the times to come. You know, because a lot of destruction is coming, and those that don't have this truth is going to be through. And it says that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Going to the word wiles, it means trickery, all right? The schemes of this devil, all right? That's going to keep us safe. This word, this truth. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Yeah, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. You know, this is a spiritual war, all right? We dealing with things that's bigger than just flesh and blood, carnal things. We dealing with spiritual things, all right? We got demons that's bothering us day and night, all right? These are the things that we go through, the spiritual war, but we have to put on the armor of the Most High, all right? By applying the scriptures.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
In the minute of the Lord, the servants, we're not ignorant of his devices. That being the shots, you know what I'm saying? The stuff that he says on in the media, he pushes in the media. We're not ignorant to that.
This is 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
So we know what's going on out here. We know that destruction is right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? He put that in the back burner and he wouldn't let you know that. We're well aware of that. The 5G towers, the air that we breathe is poisonous, the chemtrails. You know, we know about that.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
Yeah, it's hid to them. So not everybody's going to get this truth. Not everybody's going to get the word of Yahweh Shai. Only the elect, only the people that's awake is going to get this. See the mystery. You know, these other people, the 2/3, and the heathens and these crackers, they're not going to get this. You know, this isn't meant for them. This is meant for the elect only.
It says, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not.
So pretty much the so-called white man is blinding you. Since you're not getting this word, you're going to believe whatever the so-called white man tells you. Because he's blinding. He's the one that's really tricking you. You know?
Ultimately, it's the Most High, because the scriptures tell you that the deceived and the deceiver are his. So the Most High, he don't want you to get this, because you're not elect. I got something back. This is Romans.
It says, least the light of the glorious gospel from Mashiach, who is the image of the Most High, shall shine unto them.
Read that again.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. It says, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. It says, yeah, the God of this world is who? Right? Satan. Satan's physical counterpart. The so-called white man. Because they worship Satan. You know, you can see that in these movies, Hollywood, different rituals and stuff that's been leaked out that they do behind closed doors. They worship Satan. All right. So the ones that's going to take that MOTB, which is that karagma, that implantable device, that chip, is going to be the ones that's blinded by the so-called white man. All right. Esau, Edom. It says
It's heavy because they had it out with I just did a video on it. Big Sean was on Drink Champs talking about him, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, his daughter, and Kanye West's father was sitting on a plane with Donald Trump talking about the glorious history of Hebrew Israelites on the Drink Champs, which, you know, Drink Champs is kind of like national. You know, they got all the like celebrities out there, and nobody harps on the fact that what he said, that was gold right there, you know. So the God of this world is blinded the minds of, you know, the people, because they refuse to let that truth be out there.
It says, least the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. Yeah, so that's 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Right there, blinded from coming into the truth. Going back to Isaiah, the 6th chapter. The Lord has blinded the minds of their ears, all right, so that they can't understand this truth. Because it's not their lot to believe and have faith. So they're going to be destroyed.
It's Romans chapter 11, and verse 7. It says, "But then Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election had obtained it, and the rest was blinded."
So pretty much the elect is the ones that's going to obtain this word, the secrets, the mysteries.
And Israel not obtained with this. What is Israel seeking for that didn't obtain? The truth. The election have obtained and the rest was blind. Who the rest that was blind? It's 2/3. 2/3 of what? 2/3 of Israel. Right.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 22. It says, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 22. It says, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain.
Pretty much the so-called, pretty much the 2/3, they're born for destruction. They're destined for destruction. Ultimately, they're not meant to get this word. They're only put on this earth to be destroyed. You know?
It says, let my grape be kept.
That's the multitude. That's most, when they talk about the multitude, that's the most of Israel. The most of Israel will be the 2/3.
It says, let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. Yeah, the grape that should be kept, let's talk about what? The elect of the nation of Israel. Those are the ones that's important, all right? The brothers, all right, and few sisters that's in this truth. Because our lives is not vain. Because how do we dedicate our lives? To Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. That's why we come out on the highways and byways. That's why we do the live streams. That's why we do our videos. All right, we make our bodies a living sacrifice. Going back to Romans, the 12th chapter. All right, so 2/3 of the nation of Israel, they live in a vain life. All right, their lot is to what? Take that MOTB, which is the karagma, all right, that chip, and they're going to be destroyed. Their whole life is in vain. If you're not in this truth as an Israelite, or so-called Negro, Hispanic, or Native American Indian, your life is in vain. And the Heavenly Father, He don't care about your job, all right? He don't care about your status in this world, because all of that is going to fade away.
The Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8, it says, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die."
The 2/3 is the ones that's going to be cut off and die. They're going to be the ones that's ultimately that's going to be destroyed.
It says, "But the third shall be left therein."
The 1/3. The 1/3 is the one that's going to make it out of here. They're the ones that's going to survive.
It says, "And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as
They're gonna
silver."
bring them, he's going to bring them through the fire. That means he's going to bring them through adversity, tribulation, and he's gonna build them up in the spirit. And we're gonna be like fine gold in that day. We're gonna be like purified gold.
It says, "And will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people. They shall say, the Lord is my power."
And that's the salvation.
Jeremiah chapter 30, I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, "For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace." Yeah, that's the time period we live in. All right, we're not living in the times of peace. We're living in a time of war. Going back to what? Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. All right, this getting ready to be a global economic collapse. The so-called white man, Esau, Edom, they getting ready to bring in that chip. Because we understand that, look, we're happy about the events between Ukraine and Russia, but we also understand that there's an order to prophecy. Before World War III fully takes place in the form of thermonuclear destruction, that chip has to be made mandatory first.
Well, may I add really quick, not to disturb, but this whole thing with America Joe Biden putting sanctions on Russia. Russia imports, I believe, 15 to 20% of U.S.'s gas. And sanction, of course, is a penalty for action done when it comes to nations. So when they put sanctions on Russia, essentially they're kicking against the bricks. That's why they're talking about with Joe Biden putting sanctions on Russia, gas prices going to shoot up. Now I looked at the other day, gas prices went from $3.90 something. When the pandemic hit, it was $2 something, and now it's over $4 a gallon. And through these sanctions and inflation, which they say inflation 8%, not only is the dollar becoming even increasingly worthless every day, but sanctions is going to skyrocket the gas prices, because Russia imports 15 to 20% of the U.S. gas. So what does that do to the economy? Truckers diesel alone, I believe, is $6 a gallon. What happens? What happens when the diesel goes up? Truckers got to demand more for the goods being imported in. And what happens to the food and everything that's getting shipped in? That increases. So essentially, the Most High is hitting America and all the Edomite kingdoms economically in their pockets. You got something to say?
You want to know something? Nobody's pay is going up. Everybody's pay is pretty much staying the same, but going down.
Well, it's not staying the same, because inflation makes the value of the dollar, the more dollars to spend to buy the same amount of goods.
What I'm saying is that people are pretty much getting like the same wages.
Yeah, they said wages haven't increased in over 20 years. So, you know,
Jeremiah
that was a relevant point, because people are not watching the news and seeing why things are happening, and a part of the Most High judgment, and also hitting the economies. You know.
Jeremiah 30:6, it says, "Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness." Yeah, meaning what? They're going to be in a weak position during this global economic collapse in the form of Jacob's trouble. Because your status in this society economically, it's not going to last forever. All right, you might have a great job, you know, you might have a great living, but the time is coming where all that is going to fade away. All right, you're not going to have a job, because what? They're going to bring in this chip. You're going to need that chip to buy and sell. You know. Last one, Jeremiah 30:7. "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it." Jeremiah 30:7. "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it."
So pretty much this is gonna be the finale. This is gonna be the main event. You know what I'm saying? This is not gonna be anything that's gonna be as worse as what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Jacob's trouble is not going to be comparable to anything that's happened in history. All right, there's a lot of crazy things, a lot of drastic things that's happened in history, but Jacob's trouble is going to be worse than all that. It's going to be worse than slavery, the Trail of Tears. It's going to be worse than anything that's happened to any nation. Why? Because all people is going to be affected. Because all these countries, they have what in them? A central bank. So when they collapse these world economies, everybody's going to be affected. It's not just going to be one nation. Everybody's going to be affected. Last point. It says, "It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it."
He is talking about the elect. You know what I'm saying? The 1/3. The 1/3 of Israel containing the men of the Lord, and the rest of the 1/3, you know, containing of men, women, and children. Those are the ones that's going to be saved out of Jacob's trouble. The rest of the 2/3 is going to be destroyed.
Yeah, essentially because even the elect is going to have to go through the trials of the Lord, meaning everything that's affecting everybody is going to affect even Israel, you know, the elect. But the only difference is Israel's going to be saved out of the calamities that's coming. Because Israel feeling it now, even you know, Lord willing, we the elect, but we feeling it in our pockets. You know, we go to the store, everything is more. You know, if you was to go get a hamburger and some fries, you know, even 3 years ago, now you look at it, it costs $4 to $5 more. You go to get lunch at work, instead of paying $10, you paying $15. Yeah, say it. Go ahead.
Toothbrush. Yeah. Toothbrush, toothpaste. That shit was like $5. Now you gotta pay $10, $12 for it.
That's right. So all Israel essentially is gonna feel it, but the elect is gonna, you know, come up out of the tribulation.
That's our last ass whooping.
Yeah, because they, you know, not to cut you off, but these people are getting misunderstood. Now there's nuclear talks because Russia is trying to bring back the USSR, which Ukraine has a lot of natural gas and things like that to supply America. That's why America doesn't want Russia to take that over. But the Lord has them in a trick bag. You get they greedy, they can never have enough. You know what I'm talking about? You got it back, huh?
This is 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
So pretty much the day of the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night. Jacob's trouble, the so-called white man running upon you, that's going to come in. It's not going to be expected. These main events that's coming to pass, they're not going to be expected. Nobody's going to see them coming. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be as a thief in the night. Pretty much it's going to be like a thief breaking in your house while you're sleeping. Which these people are sleeping right now. They're sleeping right now. So when this trouble comes, Jacob's trouble comes, you're not going to expect it. Why? Because you're sleeping. It's going to, the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night.
It says, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Pretty much the thermonuclear fire. You know what I'm saying? Those things are gonna be what finish this place. This is that's gonna be the main destruction of America.
It is heavy because I was reading up on the news, and you can look up just type in nuclear war, and there's article after article. What are the chances of it happening? How long would it take for it to happen? How long would it take for a missile to get here from here? That's the only thing you see in the news now. Now that Russia made that move to attack Ukraine, now there's talks of nuclear warfare. Why is that? Why is it constantly reassured topics of nuclear warfare? Because what we're saying is the truth. Now I did some research. They said in the article that even an international defense system, it's almost comparable to shooting a bullet with a bullet. Meaning, if you're trying to defend yourself by stopping the nuclear, it's comparable to shooting a bullet with a bullet. I mean, it's impossible. So the Most High designed this strictly to get the job done. If people are unaware.
It's like people don't think. It's like they're making a bunch of these missiles. It's like one missile could it could take out a whole city. One missile would pretty much take out a whole city. You know what I'm saying? They could go miles.
Yeah, the new ones could actually just wipe the whole people out without the buildings moving.
They're making hundreds of them. They're making hundreds of these missiles. Yeah, and nobody's thinking about it.
About 3 years ago, Russia created the Satan II. Satan II, which travels with the sonic speed 30. It take about 30 minutes to reach America from across the land.
That's why the scripture says, avenge not yourselves, you know, because we can't fight against this devil. You know, a gun can't beat a missile, you feel me? That's why we need a higher deity to save us, and that's going to be Yahweh Shem Shah.
Yeah, Jake thinking they gonna establish a new Panther Party, new Black Panther Party. They gonna march down the street. Yo, Esau got heat seeking missiles to where you got planes and they can lock onto it and shoot the missile. I mean, Esau got a drone right now. Matter of fact, a couple years back, and I'm gonna give it back to you, but a couple years back, I was standing outside, and I don't know if it was a dream, but I swear I was up. I swore I was up. I was awake. 2 events happened. Down there on Edgecombe, if you go down to Edgecombe, I seen Hummer trucks, military, like 3 of them, passing through the street, which is against Posse Comitatus. And I also seen a stealth drone in all black in the sky. I swear to you. I kid you not. So Esau got technology to where, come on, man, you an ant, yo. You can't fight that.
Yo,
You
that's
can't
why I
fight
said.
that.
That's why we described as worms in the scripture, because you can't do nothing with this devil.
I used to play a lot of Call of Duty. They had something called a heat sensor, where they have a scope, and it would pick up your heat from your body, and it can tell you through the wall. Like, how you gonna fight it?
Yeah, they don't got that.
What movie they had that? Terminator. There was another military movie. This is technology that Esau has. He specializes in warfare. He's a cunning hunter. He specializes in an act of war. You going up, yeah, we gonna line them up, yo. Esau got technology through a scope. He can see you through the house. Yeah, thermal heat.
And there's a saying, like niggas, they got a box full of guns. So-called white man got a warehouse full of guns.
It's beyond the guns, man. The Lord blessed him with technology, inkling of technology that the Most High has, because that's His blessing. And that's the technology that the Heavenly Father has times 10. I mean times 1,000,000. No comparison. Boy.
Yeah, we'll read it again. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night,
Jacob's trouble is going to come unexpected.
and in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up."
Yeah, pretty much this place is going to be nothing but rubble. It's going to be completely gone. It's going to be like a dream, bad night. You know what I'm saying?
It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Yeah, so what manner of persons should we ought to be in? It's going to tell you in the note first. It says, looking forward and hastening and unto the coming of the day of the Most High. So this is what we're supposed to be doing, hastening and praying that we be delivered. We should be praying that Yahweh Shah deliver us from this hell that's coming, right? From the destruction of Babylon the Great, aka America, right? Because everything, all the works therein, all the elements, the buildings, right? The cars, the houses, right? Your apartments, your jewelry, your sneakers, everything is going to be destroyed, all right? So we're going to need a savior to deliver us from this hell, all right?
Yeah. People mock and scoff at the Bible, and then you can type in a documentary, Sodom and Gomorrah, and I think it's a few documentaries, but archaeologists went down to the south of the Black Sea, which is the geographical location of Sodom and Gomorrah, and they picked up what is known as a sulfite rock, sulfite ball, and the motherfucker burnt it, and it burned through the steel spoon. And it was about to put a hole in this floor. He had to put it out. That was a little piece of rock. So not only is it proven scientifically that Sodom and Gomorrah and the Most High rained fire from heaven, but you can physically go down there and light a ball. That land is completely in dust, and nothing ever grew there again. So what does that tell you? That what we telling you is the truth.
Yep. It says, looking forward and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. That's it. So this is what we hasten. We hasten for the day of our Lord. We hasten for deliverance, right? But this place is about to be on fire. It's about to be desolate land, right?
This is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. It says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey."
patient. You know what I'm saying? Wait for the Lord. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing the word. Keep preaching the gospel on the highways and byways until the Lord comes back in His glory.
Praise for the heathen.
That's right.
Right? Because when the Lord come back, He's coming back to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth as prophesied. He's coming to take the nation of Edom, which is the so-called white man, and the other nations under him out of power. All right? And to establish the kingdom. That's why Revelation 19:12 says what? That Yahushua had a head of many crowns. Talking about what? He's taking them out of power. So the so-called Chinese people, the so-called Russians, so forth and so on, they don't got next to rule, according to the Bible. The ones that have next to rule is who? The elect of the nation of Israel under Yahushua, and then ultimately all Israel in the kingdom. So it says, Zephaniah 3:8, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations.
Gather the nations, pretty much take them down, take them out of rulership, and put them in slavery.
Specifically, gather the nations. Go ahead.
It says, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Yes, that's what the Lord is doing. All right, the Lord, His determination is to what? Gather these nations into the valley of Jehoshaphat for World War III. So that's why you're seeing all this tension between Ukraine and Russia, and over there in the Middle East with the Levant is at, between Israel and Iran and their allies, because that's the Lord stirring the pot up. All right, and the end result of World War III is going to be what? The destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great, and the land of Israel. But the difference is, America is not going to be built back up because it's going to be a desert. But the land of Israel is going to be built back up pursuant to Isaiah the 60th chapter by the heathen. We come into power.
Yeah, because why is the conflict not happening in North America or near Canada? All the conflict and all the action is going over there. When he send troops, it's in a quote-unquote Middle East. That's the Lord's determination to gather the nations, and that's a part of it, man. Russia taking over Ukraine, and they're gonna take it over because that's according to scriptures. They're gonna take it over. China's gonna get involved, and all these other nations are gonna get involved. But these are the birth pains of the woman about to give birth according to the scriptures.
Tighten up that noose.
This is them tighten up. This is them tightening up. Everybody's about to crush America's what the elders call hegemony. Hegemon, which is a position of power, position of authority. Because that's a bold statement in itself. Oh, we're gonna put sanctions on Russia. Like you're trying to spank them. Like they're not a power structure. Like they're not big men themselves, huh?
That's why they keep asking him, so what is that gonna do?
Yeah.
He's like, but how do you say that? How do you say this gonna do anything?
Yeah.
Like, why are you even doing this?
Yeah. Now they got back talk. Cause America can't pull that bully shit on Russia. They can't just, we gonna cut off your economy. Cause that's gonna hurt America and American citizens.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody in America is in pain now. They're like, fuck, man, I make damn $60,000, $70,000. You know what I'm saying? Average Americans say that, which is most Americans don't make that. They're gonna be like, damn, I'm fucked up. Rent going up.
9/11, gasoline went up to $10.
Yeah.
Right? Any place around those gas stations in Midtown, they were like $8, $10, $12. You know, down here you find gasoline for maybe like $5, $6, $7. But just wait now, right? That's not gonna be this. Probably gonna be easy more than that.
$10, $15. They gonna have this thing where women gonna be selling ass for gas. Go ahead and get the script. Gas on that.
Oh, this is Joel chapter 3, back to what brother said. Joel chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, says, and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. The word Jehoshaphat means Yahweh Shaphat, which means Yahweh's judgment. It says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So these heathen nations basically going to pay for what they had done to the children of Israel. All right, they scattered us from our families throughout the four winds of the earth. All right, they murdered, robbed, raped, took everything from us. So they're gonna have to pay for that. All right. It says, and they have cast lots from our people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold the girl for wine that they might drink, going into the transatlantic slave trade, right? Because they did a triangular trade. They sold us like for tobacco, right? For pots and pans, all right? They traded us, all right? It says, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, going into these Hamites, and all the coast of the Palestinians, yeah, these Ishmaelites, will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Yeah, because these Hamites and these Ishmaelites played a big part in the triangular slave trade, right? They sold us amongst the Edomites, right? Which is the so-called white man. It says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things. Going into the actual theft they did, they went to our temple, stole gold and silver, and also the children of Israel likened us to gold and silver, right? So they have to pay for that. It says,
That's talking about actual gold and silver.
It says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem ye have sold unto the Grecians, going into the Edomites, the so-called white people. It says that ye might remove them far from their border.
Yeah, the children of Israel was moved far from their border, man. From the land of Israel, mainly from over here to America. They were moved to places like Babylon, Assyria, actually over here to the western hemisphere of the world, man.
It says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whether ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head.
Right, it will return your recompense upon your own head. Who that's talking about? Esau, the so-called white man. And that's coming soon to a theater near you by way of thermonuclear destruction. Because guess what, man? We happy about this whole Ukraine thing, right, brothers? We happy as hell. Y'all the ones that scared. They used to laugh at us years ago when we had that missile sign that said USS Orange. They laughed at us.
Remember that?
10 plus years ago, they all used to laugh at us. The USS Orange, Russia's gonna destroy America, and we used to go into the scriptures and they didn't want to hear it. Now, over a decade later, where they at now?
That's right.
Someone fucking get rid of you, man. You damn people, man. Give me the book of Isaiah 54:16. You know what I'm saying? Tell the kids to the most I put you bastards to death.
This Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
Now, you had an ancient smith, and you got modern smiths, like blacksmiths, that create different objects out of metal. But this smith that blows the coals in the fire is talking about the scientists, those nuclear physicists, that break down those uranium isotopes to create nuclear missiles. Go ahead.
And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
Go ahead.
And I have created the wasteland to destroy.
And that waste to destroy is too much nuclear missiles, man. That's the waste that they created. To what? To destroy America. But see what it is that these people are not gonna get it until they're on fire. They think, man, listen, man, that's just news, man. It's gonna all blow over. These idiots probably think that this is something that just happened 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. This is something that's been in the making for years. They don't understand that because what happens is people pay too much attention to mainstream media. You gotta pay attention to that alternative media. Because mainstream American media is just Western media. It's just propaganda to promote a narrative. Okay? It's propaganda. The Western media is a propaganda machine to manipulate the minds of the public to get out of what they want out of it. See, they gotta manipulate the media in order to get the people to support whatever it is that they do. Or we gotta go over to Syria by way of humanitarian intervention. Look what Assad is doing. But really, the United States government are the ones that are training those Syrian rebels, arming those Syrian rebels. What is the Assad regime that put those that sprayed that or released that sarin gas on the public? It was the Syrian army, the Syrian rebels that the United States government was funding. Called the Ponte brought out how it wasn't the Assad regime years ago. But they got to paint that narrative. They got to demonize foreign officials to make the American public agree with them going to war. Even when Barack Hussein Obama was in office, oh yeah, we're gonna pull the troops. Before he got in office, we're gonna pull the troops out. Then when he got in office, he didn't pull the troops out. He sent more troops out there.
That's right.
They wound up going into Libya
That's right.
and into Egypt. And so it's something with these goddamn devils. We can't wait till World War III is finally announced, man. We can't wait, man. We can't wait until you start hearing about threats of nuclear missiles. We can't freaking wait, man. We cannot wait. We'll get a multi hand for that, man. We can't wait, brothers. See you people be put to death. Go ahead.
It's Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle,
Yeah.
for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled
You get the book of Ezekiel 38 chapter. Just touching that real brief. Something on top, man.
For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood.
That's right. So every battle of the warrior with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. You hear the galloping of horses. You hear swords playing against one another, swords hitting shields. You hear people getting pierced with swords. People screaming out for their lives. Go ahead. Horses making different types of noise. Go ahead.
But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
But this war is going to be with burning and fuel of fire. That's talking about a thermonuclear war. Go ahead. Ezekiel?
It's Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog,
That's going into Russia. Go ahead.
the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal,
That's from Turkey. Go on.
and prophesy against him,
So you're going to prophesy against them. Go ahead.
and say, Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Most High, Behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal,
Go ahead.
and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws.
So the Most High say He's going to turn them back and put hooks into their jaws. Meaning what? He's going to bring them back into that old superpower that they once were. As a matter of fact, look at this scripture proving that real quick. You got to get up?
It's Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company, with bucklers and shields, all of them were handling swords.
Let me read this real quick. You got something? Got
A paragraph really quick. This goes into the Atlantic.com. How Ukraine could become a nuclear crisis. And it says, this is as of 2 days ago, the Russian invasion of Ukraine is not a nuclear crisis yet. Concern about the role of nuclear weapons is perfectly understandable. However, now that a paranoid dictator has led Russia into a major war in the middle of Europe, attacking a country that shares a border with the four of America's NATO allies, a nuclear crisis is unlikely but not impossible.
see that?
Now Ukraine is in the middle of Europe, which is part of NATO. So war with Ukraine is almost like war with NATO and America. So this is the war drums beating to force America and NATO to attack the bid, you know, because they have no choice.
This is Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws.
I see saying, he's going to turn you back. I can't find out the scripture, I can't find it, but it says he's going to turn you back and put hooks into thy jaws. Meaning what? Take a hook. If you got a fishing reel, right, and you cast it into the water, that hook that's at the end of that line goes into the mouth of the fish, and it yanks that fish and pulls that fish. And that reel is used to pull that fish back to you, to bring the hook back to you. So Moses said he's going to put hooks in their jaws to bring me back. Because the Most High is going to grab them up, and he's going to bring them back to that old power they want to work. Going back generations ago. In other words, they're going to be like that old USSR, that old United Soviet Socialist Republic. As a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why NATO was even formed. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization. You know? That's the reason why they was really formed. To fight against Russia. Go ahead.
And I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen.
And I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, talking about the Russian army, as well as their allies. Go ahead.
All of them clothed with all sorts of armor.
All of them clothed with all sorts of armor. Go ahead.
Even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them with handling swords.
And it said horses and swords. Now, you know, modern day times, nations are not going to war with horses and swords. They're going to war with tanks. They're going to war with missiles, bombs, assault rifles. Go ahead. Persia. That's talking about Iran. Iran was Persia was the original name of Iran, going back until 1935. That's when Persia became known as Iran in 1935. Go ahead. So use the word Persia is talking about Iran. Go ahead.
Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets.
So it's talking about Russia and his allies. And you know the United States government already got beef with Iran. They didn't want Iran to have nuclear capability. Because why? They didn't want Iran to do what? To bomb Israel. As a matter of fact, the Pentagon has a program called, since you mentioned Persia, the Pentagon got a program called the Brookings Institute. And the Brookings Institute is a think tank. A think tank is basically a group of experts that come together with various ideas. Like, for example, like you ever realize how they talk about fat phobia? Oh my gosh, talking about somebody that's fat, that's long. You know what I mean? You know what the reason why they do that, I perceive? Within the past years, we noticed there's been a lot of documentaries coming out about the dangers of the fast food industry, processed foods, documentaries like Suicide, Cowspiracy, and things of that nature, Earthlings, showing people the dangers of the food industry. And I believe they noticed they're losing a lot of money. So you gotta come up with certain ideas to cause that to cease. So one thing that they'll do is what? They'll come together with a think tank. There's sociologists, there's psychologists, all with different ideas. Well, how can we find out why we're losing money? How can we get people to stop like the fast food industry? Come up with something called fat phobia. That's right. If you come up with fat phobia, people will stop criticizing people for being overweight. And they'll stop criticizing them for their eating choices. Think about it now a person's fat, you don't even want to call it fat. Person's fat, you want to tell them to get in shape, work out, stop eating junk food. I can eat whatever I want. I'm fat and beautiful. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is they come up with. They got to come up with a plan. And that's what I see they come up with. Don't it make sense? Go ahead.
Well, as of recently, they've been fighting tooth and nail to hide the nutritional facts.
Yeah.
They've been hiding that for forever.
Yeah. Hiding nutritional facts. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they come up with. Their sociologists, their psychologists. There's something called media psychology. And media psychology is a branch of psychology that deals with how the media affects the human mind. So like we read right here, read that part again, what you read?
It's Ezekiel 38 and 5. Persia, Ethiopia,
Persia. Now the Brookings Institute, which is the Institute of Think Tanks, a think tank basically, all these various experts in these different fields coming together with ideas. So in the Brookings Institute, what it is that They have something called which path to Persia. In other words, which path should we take into invading Persia or invading Iran? So Persia is Iran. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Tagarma of the north quarters,
And that's all going to Russia. Go ahead.
and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared,
Many people with thee. Many allies. Go ahead.
be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Yeah. Read that part again.
It says, that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
So Russia is going to be a guard unto their company and to all of that assembled unto them. In other words, what? Russia is going to be a guard to all of its allies. Because Russia may have allies that is weaker than itself. So Russia is going to be a guard unto them. So if any of the enemy try to attack them, guess what? They got to go through Russia. Go ahead.
After many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm, thou shalt be like a cloud. It says, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. Thus saith the Most High, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought.
They're going to think of evil thoughts. That's what? To destroy America. That's why when people had that PSA, that public service announcement, they were sitting at that desk. They were saying, yo man, look, if you mess with us, it's going to be the worst event in your country's history. Man, you can't wait, man. We're most out to destroy this damn place, man. You can't wait. He said, man, listen, that's for us. It's going to be the worst event in your country's history, man. And you know he gets about America. No, it's about America. That's why goddamn fucking Americans, man. Fucking Americans. You can't wait for most out fucking these dumb, stupid ass, dumb niggas, fucking heathens, Edomites, crackers, white people, Edomites. You can't wait, man. That people got a little too damn comfortable on TikTok. They got too damn comfortable on social media, man. Too damn comfortable. Yeah, you know, do TikTok dance. Little BS that we doing, man. They got a little too damn comfortable. Too damn relaxed. And most time is gonna shake things up a bit. Man, I can't wait, man. I can't wait till the first fucking nuclear missile is shot. I can't fucking wait, man. I can't wait, man. I can't freaking wait, man. Like when the corona, like when the C virus came around. When that shit first popped up, people were scared. Yo, man, you go, yo. You say, yo, there's an echo on your block, man. People were scared. People was in the supermarket stockpiling food, tissue, toilet paper. That's what they was doing, man. You got a line around the whole, you know the time in the supermarket you go when it's not crowded? It's crowded at that time. So, you know, you go, supermarket closes at 11 p.m. I'm gonna go over there at 10:30. They start closing, go like 10:50, 45. I'm head over there at 10:30. I'll get there in like 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? At that time, it's crowded. I remember. You know what I'm saying? Because they was all shook up. They was all scared. And then, you know, a while passed because the quarantine was what? March 2020? Now, March is next week. March is next week. That'll be 2 years. Everybody like, yeah, finally, mask mandates are gone now. But guess what? It's gonna be a missile mandate coming soon to a nation near you. Yo, man, I can't wait, brother. Man, it's not gonna be that many people out there happier than myself, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't wait, brother. And I speak for all these brothers, man. Yo, man.
Wait. Yo, as soon as we hear that announcement on the TV or wherever it's from,
Yeah.
brothers gonna be jumping for joy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
what
Because we
I'm
gonna
saying.
look up. It's gonna be
Right.
like, I ain't gotta be hitting them.
Yeah.
You gotta look at it this way. You gotta look at it this way. This is death anyway.
Yeah.
To them, it's gonna be a terrible noise. To us, we gonna run outside wherever we at. We gonna say,
And that's
all right.
and that's why we gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta pray the Most High. Saying we gotta fast if we have to. Do our lessons come out. We gotta do what we gotta do to build ourselves up in faith. Because Scripture tell you in the book of Sirach, it tells you think upon the vengeance which shall be at the end. Think about the time when the Most High is gonna turn away his face. So you gotta do everything that you can now until that time. That's part of redeeming the time. Right, bro.
Ezekiel 38:11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages.
That's America. America's an unwalled village. You always hear about so-called illegals coming over the border. America's an unwalled villages. Go ahead.
I will go to them that are at rest.
Yeah, they have rest here in America. They have ease here in America. Right?
That dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither walls nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places.
Yeah, to take a spoil, to take a prey, and turn thy hand upon the desolate places. That's something about America. You know when I first saw this damn thing on the internet? You know that song? Like, what the hell is this, man? You got some bitch walking through the airport pulling luggage or some shit, or some bitch or some dude at a dinner having a damn. Like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, the people are too at ease in Zion, man. They're too at ease, man. They're too at ease, man. I'm tired of seeing y'all. Yo, man.
Wizkid.
Like, who?
That's the artist, Wizkid.
I didn't know what the fuck that is, man. Yeah, bro. I'm almost mad he told me. Now I know who he is, but I'm thinking about it next week, so it's all good.
Can't be ignorant in small great.
Go ahead. Huh?
Can't be ignorant any matter small great.
Go ahead.
It says that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land.
Yeah, got cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. In other words, they've been prosperous. Got cattle and goods. They got various goods, products from other countries, other nations around the world, built up their wealth, and that's how it is in America. This might be Revelation 18 chapter, the first verse. Oh no. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Get the 39th chapter of Ezekiel 39. Ezekiel 39 and like 20.
Ezekiel 39:20.
Stuff from like 15.
This is Ezekiel chapter 39 and verse 15. It says, in the passages that pass through the land, when any see a
Start
man.
up from verse 10.
Ezekiel chapter 39 verse 10. So that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of
11. Stuff from 11.
Ezekiel chapter 39 verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day
Yeah.
that I will give unto Gog a place there of graves in Israel, the valley of the passengers on the east of the sea. And it shall stop the noses of the passengers.
It's gonna stop the noses of the passengers. What's gonna stop the noses of the? You know when something smells, it's like stop that. What's that? In other words, that nose. What's that smell? It's gonna stop the nose of the passengers, people that pass by. Smell all of them dead bodies and water. Go ahead.
It says, and there shall they bury Gog and all his multitude.
And then what's going to happen? All of the armies gonna be buried. All of the soldiers deceased gonna be buried. Go ahead. But we're not gonna be touching them dead bodies. You know what?
And they shall call it the valley of Ham and Gog. In 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land.
7 months. Meaning what? It's not talking about literally 7 months. talking about a certain completed time. So maybe 8 months, maybe 9 months, maybe 4 months, maybe 5 months. It says 7 months. It says, okay.
It says, yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown the day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord power.
So the Most High will be glorified in that day. Right?
And they shall sever out men of continual employment.
So what we're going to do is we're going to sever out men of continual employment. In other words, we're going to have a bunch of you heathens out there, and we're going to give you the order, yo, bury these dead bodies, man. All these dead bodies up in the land of Israel, yo, bury them, get rid of them, get them out of our sight. You're not going to have to bury all of them bodies because we told you to. Okay? And if y'all don't listen to us, we're going to push you to death. We're going to be utterly wasted, like it says in the book of Isaiah, we're going to kill you, man. Okay?
Passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth to cleanse it. After the end of
because you can't have a bunch of dead bodies laying around. Go ahead.
after the end of 7 months shall they search. And the passengers that pass through the land, when any see a man's bones, then shall he set up a sign by it.
So when people that pass by the land see a man's bones, see a dead body, they gonna put a sign next to that dead body. Go ahead.
So the burials have buried it in the valley of Ham and Gog.
So some people gonna walk past putting signs next to the dead bodies, and other people gonna walk past, see the sign, okay, that's a dead body, bury that one. And they gonna come right behind them and bury it. That's how it's gonna be. Alright, y'all the ones that go around to all these dead bodies, place signs next to them, and then y'all gonna come around, all them, or everywhere you see a sign, you're gonna bury them. You're gonna bury that. That's where the dead bodies at, alright? Go ahead. Because there's gonna be dead bodies all over the place. You got pounds of dead bodies. You got dead bodies all over. And they all gonna be marked. And they're gonna have to go to where all of them markings are and bury them. And bury the bodies. Go ahead.
It says, and also the name of the city shall be Hamanah. Thus shall they cleanse the land. And thou, son of man, thus saith the Lord power, speak unto every feathered fowl and to every beast of the field. Assemble yourselves and come, gather yourselves on every side to my sacrifice that I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice upon the mountains of Israel, that ye may eat flesh and drink blood.
And that I don't necessarily mean all of the fowls of the air are gonna come down and start eating people. But guess what? You do have animals out there that are scavengers, and y'all gonna be eating the decayed corpses of these soldiers. Leave a body out there too long in a while, and watch a damn a hyena or a vulture start to feast upon your corpse, man. Feast upon that corpse. Right?
Says, ye shall eat the flesh of the mighty and drink the blood of the princes of the earth.
But then again, at the same time, you're going to have armies that's going to be doing that too. In other words, actually destroying them. So it's going to be like a feast, not an actual feast, but it's going to be destruction. But then again, at the same time, you're going to actually have actual animals feasting on their corpses as well. Go ahead.
Of rams, of lambs, and of goats, of bullocks, all of them fatlings of Bashan. And ye shall eat fat till ye be full, and drink blood till ye be drunken of my sacrifice, which I have sacrificed for you. Thus ye shall be filled at my table, the horses with chariots, with mighty men, and with all men of war, saith the Lord power. And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed in my hand, that I have laid upon them.
So all of the heathen go see that. Real quick, give me the book of Revelation 17, it says to the far off, 18. Stuff from get the verse 10.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 10. Standing afar off from the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, 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 the great city Babylon that mighty city.
See, standing afar, seeing her atonement. So guess what, man? These nations, they're gonna see their atonement. That's why I said the Most High gonna be glorified. Be glorified. Because they're gonna see their atonement, man. Go ahead.
For in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
1 hour. 1 hour the judgment of America will come. It's gonna take 1 hour for America to be laid, to be burned to cinders, man. 1 hour. America is big, man. It was 3,000 by 2,000 miles, somewhere around there. That's big, man. And it's gonna take 60 minutes. 60 minutes to kill every living creature on the soil. Go ahead.
And merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. For no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
That's good, man. All right.
2 Peter chapter 2, verse 6. And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them and overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly.
Read it again.
This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 6. And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with overthrow.
Turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow. Go ahead.
Making them an example.
Turn them into ashes how? How did it turn them into ashes? When the Most High rained down fire and brimstone from heaven upon them. Okay, go ahead. So it's kind of like a meteor shower, you could say. Guess what? Most High is gonna rain down missiles on them. Go ahead.
Condemn them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly.
Making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. So they're an example to those people after who choose to live ungodly, which would be a bunch of fucking faggots. Uh-oh, he said faggot.
Uh-oh.
They'll get mad at that.
Edit that out.
You know what I'm saying? They'll get mad at that. Go ahead.
And deliver just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked.
And deliver just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. In other words, Lot was vexed with what? He was vexed with the behavior of the people in Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay? And Lot represents who? We represent Lot. In modern day time. Alright?
They got something called a cisgender.
Yeah, cisgender.
Yeah, cisgender. More. Oh, word. Read that one more time.
This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 7. And deliver just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked.
Read up. What verse?
This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 6. And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes.
Turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah to ashes. We brought out earlier, you go south of the Black Sea, archaeologists had found, you know, the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. It's been proven that it's no joke, that this actually happened. And they had something where they identified Lot's wife, which they think is Lot's wife, was turned into a pillar of salt. That's an apocrypha, the brothers can find it. But the same acts that was done in Sodom and Gomorrah is done in America. They got LGBTQ and soon to be P. P standing for pedophile. And we go down the list. L meaning lesbian, B meaning bisexual, LGBT gay. What else? They got cisgendered.
Granny.
T, tranny.
That's why America gotta fucking be destroyed, man. You got all a bunch of fucking faggots running around, and they get mad at us when we say that. Oh my God, you said faggot. Say what the fuck I want to say, man.
And Lord forbid you identify a man which changed himself into a woman.
So-called change
Yeah,
itself.
so-called. If you do that, technically, legally, you're wrong. Because according to the law, they changed their sex. So read that again.
It's in 2 Peter.
It is a touchy topic because America is exactly spirit. Read that, Revelation 11.
Revelations 11 verse 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood saying, Rise and measure the temple of the Most High.
Chapter 11, verse 8.
Revelations chapter 11 verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
Yeah, their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city. Who's the dead bodies? Israel, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We know that the dead bodies is spiritual. They that without understanding lay in the congregation of the dead. Our people lack knowledge, so they're considered dead in the eyes of the Lord. So their dead bodies shall lay in the city, the great city, right?
Which is
Spiritually meaning not physical. It's a spiritual place, meaning they carry all the traditions and customs of these places.
which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Okay, now we can go exactly what they did in Sodom.